This is our God.
We're about to testify to that God, the very God that showed up in a unique form here just minutes ago outside the studio here near the Nashville airport as we have this day to partner with One Generation Away. Our goal has been to take care of folks that need food, wiping hunger off the face of Middle Tennessee. And we're all kind of sitting around to understand what just happened, because outside this studio, Kevin, our general manager, and Brandy from One Gen connected with a gentleman. I believe his name is Tim.
Yes. Yeah. Tim reached out to us after listening to you guys all day talk about the wonderful ministry the One Generation Way does, and just had a burden on his heart to give in a substantial way. And candidly, it was a cash gift, which we have a tough time receiving because of just, it's cash, right? And we really went down to talk with him and I frankly thought we would be ministering to him. And it did not happen that way, did it, Brandy?
No, it did
not happen that way. So Brandy approached him first. So Brandy, yeah, you can get started from there. Good luck.
Well, all I could think when we came back up was, that song that just played, This Is Our God, King Jesus. And I saw him in the eyes of a man who gave his last probably $1,400. And he gave it so joyfully. Tim is probably listening. He joyfully lives out of his car and travels and goes where God calls him to go. And God called him to find his way here today to give us that for the ministry, and shared that he grew up food insecure and that he grew up thankfully in a place where in the summers they had food to eat, but where they really did go hungry in the winter. And God saved him and radically rescued him, and he lives to tell the story of God's just radical love and radical provision. I will never be the same after seeing him and his heart to literally give everything he had.
We saw the vehicle he drove up in. A vehicle he's very excited to have because it has taken him across the country on a journey of faith, where he just literally is a man that is ready and waits and has an expectation of God providing exactly what he needs in that moment. And he told us story after story from how God healed him in a radical way to how God had literally fixed his vehicle so it could get to the next place. He just sort of tells us about a story of cooking a meal in Walmart like it's nothing. He explained to us that he is cooking a meal in Walmart, which everybody does that, right? We've all cooked a meal in Walmart's parking lot, right? It's kind of, and just some guy walks up and gives him $40. And I'm thinking, he gave you $40 because you're cooking a meal in the parking lot of Walmart, and that was God's provision for him. And that was the hardest gift. I mean, Brandy said it. God's teaching us how to receive. She looked at me and she could see, like, both of us were like, we can't do this. We can't take this. But she said to me, she goes, God is teaching us how to receive right here in this moment. That's not the only thing God is teaching us in this moment. But I'm telling you, what we saw today is a heart surrendered to whatever it is that God would have him to do in the moment, whatever it is. He tells story after story about helping this person come to Christ. And we have the language, right? Led him to the Lord. He didn't talk about lead him to the Lord. He talked about people coming to know the Lord in a radical way so he could see them again in heaven. And the last thing we said to him was, and we prayed with him and hugged him and didn't really want to let him go, but in the end, last thing we said to him was, we're going to see you again. And he said, and then we'll have all the time we need basically to tell the stories that we have to tell.
Wow.
I mean, and hey, we could take another 30 minutes easily in this moment. But I can tell you talk about, he was the widow mite. He said, I'm the widow mite. Yeah. I'm the widow's mite. I'm that. Because I'm quite sure, Brandon, he gave us, if there's any more money in that guy's possession, I would be blown away.
Yeah.
He was eating what was out of a cooler. He wouldn't take the food.
And he said, this is not mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Just not mine. It's his. He
It's
looked at
his.
the van. He goes, that's not mine. It's his.
Yep.
Making his way across the country using a Rand McNally Atlas.
Yeah, and he checks off the Walmarts he's slept in, the ones he's visited, and the ones where he slept there.
That's wild.
2 different check marks because he's tracking.
Yeah.
And here we've been joking about, Franklin is going to give more than Murfreesboro, and this guy doesn't even live here.
I'm
No.
going to tell you what, nobody can outgive that guy's heart.
No.
Nobody, and nobody can outgive God.
Good.
That's just how it works.
Again, give it a shot, but I'm telling you, Tim has set the bar for my heart
Woo.
in a way that I couldn't go to a country and have had that experience.
No.
Yeah.
And God gave that to us, and I hope through us He's given it now to those who are listening, and it will cause something to stir within you, because I won't speak for you, Brandy, but I'm pretty messed up right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty wrecked.
We got to process this thing, because what God has shown us in this moment, we've got to find the slot to put it in, and that's what I've been saying ever since I walked away from. I got to find the slot to put this in, because I don't know where you put this. I thought I knew. I'm just beginning.
Same.
Well, Tim, thank you so much, and for your generosity there. This horn's for you, buddy.
So
There's the tractor trailer that Tim and others helped fill and trucking out for another 300 families. As we wrap up our time tonight, we'll be back in the morning for a couple of hours.